Hey guys, so I wanted to make a quick video on psychiatric facilities or psych wards or whatever you want to call them. Whatever term you use is fine. I think we've had a misperception among about psychiatric facilities among the community because, movies, TV shows, everything portrays them as a bad thing. And, they say, oh, if you go in there, you'll die or you'll come out crazier than you were before, so to speak. But this is not the case at all. You go in, I'm sure there are some bad ones. I'm sure there are, because unfortunately for us, people are going to be people. People make it bad, not the place. So, but anyway, I met a lot of good people while I was in there. One notably, his name was Michael. He was my roommate. And I thank the Lord that I met him, and, he was such a great guy to me. We talked a lot and stuff like that. He had schizoaffective disorder, and I'm sure you guys who have it, you know what I'm talking about. It was pretty rough for him. He had a lot of delusions and stuff like that, and he was a firecracker. But, thankfully, I think I was able to help him through the rest of his time. I don't know if he's out yet, but if he is, Michael, I love you, brother, and I hope you see this and reach out to me, because I'd love to reconnect again. But I met a lot of good people in there. Some were little on the, weird side, so I stayed away from some of them. I didn't really associate with some of them, but I tried to reach as many people as I could. I tried to help as many people as I could. Some people didn't want it, and that was fine. That was their decision. But my purpose in making this video is to say, if you have the opportunity to check yourself into a psychiatric facility and not be forced in there, I do recommend that you do that. Because you're not on AMA or against medical advice, as they like to call it. And that means if you leave against medical advice, then you will not get your medicines that you came there to get in the first place. And we definitely don't want that. I'm trying to get out of this sun, but it is a beautiful day outside. It feels great. It looks wonderful. So I decided to record it out here, a little change of scenery. But Michael was a really great guy, and I hope he's doing well. I hope he's out now, and I hope he's doing a lot better. So, but anyway, back to my point. Psychiatric facilities are not bad. It's how you make them. Yes, you're locked up. Yes, you're not allowed to go outside in some of them. At least the one I was in, we weren't allowed outside, which, sucks, because I love the outdoors. I love being outside. But yeah, you just kind of had to deal with it. Thankfully, I was in a short-term facility. So short-term meaning 3 days to a month or 2 months. Some people have been in there for a couple months. I've met a lot of great people in there, and I learned that just because we have a disorder doesn't make us any less human. Okay? And you can't let anybody talk you out of getting the help that you need. The first step is, of course, admitting we have a problem. Admitting it to ourselves, not necessarily other people. You can if you want to, that's up to you. But we have to admit it to ourselves first and really understand that we have an issue that needs to be taken care of. Instead of letting it progress to, psychotic breaks or suicide attempts like I did. And I'm still having problems too. I'm not saying that I don't. I'm not saying I have it all right, because I don't. But I believe that I can make a difference while I'm trying to get better myself. So anyway, we had a little schedule we went by in the psych ward. or psychiatric facility. I don't really like calling it a psych ward because it's such a negative term, you know. But anyway, in the psychiatric facility, we went by a schedule. You know, mornings, 4:30 in the morning, which was wild if you ask me. I think it was a little wacko. But they would come in and check our vitals at 4:30 in the morning. Why they didn't wait till we woke up completely, I would never understand. But they will give you your medication. You will not skip out on your medication at a psychiatric facility. Whatever medication the doctor gives you, you will take it. They will make sure you take it. Thankfully, I never lost my mind in there. I mean, I was about to. A couple of times I was about to lose my ever-loving mind. But I didn't, thank the Lord, because I didn't want to get hit with that tranquilizer they use. I call it a horse tranquilizer. Because, I mean, when they inject that stuff to you, you are out for 2 or 3 days, I'm sure. I know at least the night and probably all day the next day. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, psychiatric facilities aren't a bad thing, unless you make it bad. And anybody who's gone through it, let me know. Comment down below, down here. Let me know how your experience was. But for me, it wasn't that bad. I mean, you know, I did hate being away from my family. I hated, you know, being locked down 24/7. I couldn't go outside. It wasn't like a prison, because I've worked in a prison. It was nowhere like a prison. But, I mean, it was close to it. You know, you're still locked down, you know, but they're there to help you. And you've got to remember that, and you've got to want the help. You really have to want the help for it to work. If you don't, or if you just skate by saying, hey, I'll do what I have to do to get out of here, then whatever happens, happens. That's not a good thing. It's not a good way to look at it, because you will be back in there, or you'll be in prison if you snap hard enough. I mean, and I'm not joking about that. People think it's a joke, but it's really not. But anyway, so back to my point at hand. We had a schedule. We would get up, we would have our vitals taken, then we would get up. Then my doctor came in to see me about 6 o'clock in the morning. Doctors came various times throughout the day, but she came 6 o'clock like clockwork every day. So anyway, she would talk to me. I really liked my doctor. She was nice. She understood. I could tell her anything that was going on. I had a social worker that was pretty awesome too. She helped me set up a psychiatry appointment when I got out. And side note, after you get out of a facility, you have to follow up with a psychiatrist within 7 days. Don't ask me what happens if you don't, because I don't know that. I checked myself in. So I wasn't court ordered to go. I wasn't forced in by the police or anything like that. So my best advice is just go to your appointment. Whatever it takes, get there. Mine was a telehealth over video chat. So I was able to do it, which is probably what most of them are doing right now because of COVID, or they're so backed up they can't bring patients in right now. But, I mean, anyway, you get the idea. Make it to your psychiatry appointment, whatever it takes. And, you know, if work has a problem with it, say, hey, look, you know, if I don't get my mental health under control, I'm not going to be of use to anybody here. You know, I mean, your work's important, but your mental health is important too. And without your mental health working properly, excuse me, getting tongue-tied over here, but without your mental health working properly, you won't be able to work properly. And employers need to understand that. As far as them knowing that, and say they need to know what's wrong, you don't have to tell them that, because HIPAA regulations are in effect for that very reason. That you don't have to reveal your medical information to anybody unless it pertains, to the job title itself, job classification, job functions, anything of that nature. But so anyway, we would go to breakfast. We would have group. Group was okay. I mean, it was fun to be able to socialize with everybody, and in a controlled environment at least. And so then after group, we would have a little free time. Then we would have lunch. We would take our meds, and then after lunch, we'd have another group, and then we would have what we call reflection time. Reflection time for them is just basically we go into our freaking rooms and don't come back out until shift change. That's basically what that is. We would have a little snack and stuff in between breakfast and lunch, and then lunch and dinner. We would watch TV, communicate with each other, whatever we would do. Met another guy in there. Speaking of which, met another guy in there who was really awesome. He had schizophrenia, and he had it pretty rough. But we would talk and stuff, and he was a great guy. I loved him to death. I would do anything in this world for him. But he was still in there when I left, so I hope he's doing well too. But all in all, it was an interesting experience. Never been in a situation like that before, and I learned so much. And believe it or not, so much of that made me want to start this YouTube channel. Made me want to start helping people who didn't have any hope. Because that's what we all fail to see, is that we fail to see hope sometimes when nobody else understands. But I want you to understand that I understand. I know what it's like to go through this. I know what it's like. Maybe some other mental illnesses, yes, I may not know what they're like because I haven't gone through them. But mental illness in general, I understand. We have trouble finding hope, and I want to try to give that to you. And I want your help to explode this channel so the world can see this, and the world will understand what it's like to have hope, to know that they're not alone, because they need to know that, because they have been so isolated from this world. They have been so isolated from people, or people push them down because of what they have going on. Please think about that. Please think about, if you don't have a mental illness, think about someone you know that has one, because they need someone there for them. Because if you're not, how will they get the help without a good support system? How will they get it? They won't. Or they'll end up committing suicide, or be in a psych ward for committing suicide, or for attempting to commit suicide. And I hate to put it like that, but it's the truth. You can't just walk by people and that needs help and just walk right past them and look at them like nothing ever happened. Yes, we have an epidemic right now of homeless people. I understand that. Homeless people, some of them pretend to be homeless just to get your money. And I've seen that so many times. And it's unfortunate. But, if you know somebody with a mental illness, be there for them. Show them you care. Show them that you want to help make a difference in their lives, and show them that someone out there cares for them. And encourage them to get help. Please encourage them to get help. Don't let them wait until it gets too bad to control it. Please encourage them. Sometimes you may have to drag someone by their hair to make them get help if you love them. Sometimes you may have to. But get them in a mindset to want to get help. Get them in that mindset. Please share this video. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It really helps out the channel so much. Thanks for listening, guys. Thank you for watching. And I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great week. And I'll see you next time.